Thank you, Peter, and everyone. I'm really excited to be here back in Manchester. So I will be reading some sonnets from my collection, Southernmost Sonnets. Sonnet 1. In the yellow picture of early 1976, she spoon-feeds me, first tasting herself before it's my turn. She holds on to a white dish of hot, mushy stuff. She wears a calming summer dress, her black hair tied back in a small chignon. She sits in a picnic chair by a low folding table with a flask, a mate mug, and yerba in a plastic tub. I'm bathed in sunshine. Half her body is under the shade of an ombu. Her face is the mask of a southern Aphrodite, looking straight at me, a bloodline. This is one of the few snapshots of her I brought from Argentina, a relic of us, captured in that instant of me being nourished, a hand about to feed their infant, a photo coated with a patina of gold, framed over my writing table, she, the adored empress. A rare survival here in diaspora, a memento vivere where everything began for me, a life's premiere. The Crown of the Virgin. Mother prays to Nuestra Señora del Sagrado Corazón. She kneels down, her long hands touch her sore lips. She is saying something to herself and whispers alone before the crowned virgin, a holy belt above her hips. I am next to her, looking at her spark profile, her rosary, the way she wraps each rose-scented bead, how she kisses the metal cross. A choir begins to sing. Above the sacristy, a neon sign flickers. Blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Then someone plays a guitar. The congregation joins in. Mother stands up, holds my hand, half smiles at me as if to say, we are nearly there. You've done quite well. Within the church, Sunday Mass is wrapping up. What a relief. And when we leave, the priest concludes, God be with you, vayan con Dios. Outside, a legless man begs along the queue. Vayan con Dios. Outside, a legless man begs along the queue. He gets a coin or two, a piece of bread, a 5 pesos bill note. Mother drives her Citroën thinking of our Sunday barbecue. We kids play cards in the back, sing church songs and joke about the old man who slept through the entire service, snoring like a bear, and the choir boy called Juan, who sang as if he was about to die. Later, at our house, Father serves us asado he cooked while we prayed, tender meat that shrank from thick bones. Before we eat, a blessing to the Virgin and her crowned son. Mother looks at her sweaty husband, thanks him for the food we are about to eat, curses the sins of this world. We cross ourselves hastily and am damned. As a centerpiece, a large Capodimonte vase of roses adorns the family table. On the wall, Jesus and his crown of thorns. The family table, on the wall, Jesus and his crown of thorns, my unloved catechesis books, thoughts after confessing. The priest hugs me alone in a small chapel. He performs the godly rites, asks if I've sinned. It's all about suppressing bad thoughts. Tell him. The Virgin watches. Thinks perhaps I'm lying, that the priest is rubbing his stone leg against mine. He wants to know it all. His babyish cheeks smell of brine. Tell him. His small eyes, 2 blue eggs. Then he makes me pray. You will be a good boy. Un buen chico. Too many flowers have decomposed. Sun is out. I'm not praying as I should have. All I can think of is naked Nico behind the classroom curtains, dancing like an astronaut. That night, Jesus arrives in my dream and softly hugs me. His big heart bleeds red wax, and I drink from the Almighty. His big heart bleeds red wax, and I drink from the Almighty. Figuratively, that is. All day at school, we start to learn about the life of the Virgin, what to pray on Good Fridays, about the Old and New Testament, when Christ returned from the afterlife, bearing bleeding holes on each hand. In our classroom, in a big framed photo, John Paul II making the sign of the cross, half smiles, is content in spite of his mitre, his crosses, his yellow crotons. Soon, my first Holy Communion. I duly prepare by going to the local cathedral, rehearsing in line how to receive the sacramental bread. Christ's affair, his body in our bodies. I'm the purest boy by 9. After the service, they take a picture of me praying. I'm looking up to him, me, the angelic boy, betraying. I'm looking up to him, me, the angelic boy, betraying the Holy Scriptures with the face of some devil, praying at Christmas Mass, at Easters, promising never to come back to church again, to settle for a godless life. The little Angelito is now standing in front of the crowned Virgin of the Sacred Heart, looking at men kneeling in their tight jeans, bending to take the Holy Eucharist, to receive him like a dart, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The priest, with his arms stretched out, a thick beard, his golden robes, a bright green maniple with tassels, how he kisses the altar boys like 2 sweet birds. The Son of God made answer as only humans can. With arms outstretched, he bid me come first to me as man. With arms outstretched, he bids me come first to me as man, and I do come to him, and he asks me, what is wrong with me? And I can't say. All I want to do is run away from him. He says the Lord will make me strong, and I pray to the crowned Virgin and her little son, to the bleeding heart and the saintly nun, turn this boy into a man. Wash my sins, forgive me for what I've done. Then the bearded man kisses my lips, and I'm full of joy. That day, my friend Ivan comes to our house to play. We get naked in my tiny bedroom, and it's electric. He says, don't tell anyone, it'll be our secret. Away he goes, and a big storm appears. It feels magnetic. My spirit search for union, and my body's strong desire unite in this sweet moment to light the sacred fire. Unite in this sweet moment to light the secret fire. The priest recites from the pulpit. Mother watches me looking at the blonde lad, a never-ending prayer. 2 elderly women cry near the altar's canopy. We pretend nothing happens. His face is bleeding from his crown of thorns. The priest lifts his hand, crosses himself, and we cross ourselves after him. Mass is over, but we remain. Inside the choir chants as I look at Mother next to me, her ailing body, how she prays to stay with us, begs from all the saints she knows. She prays for me, for us, while a Pavarotti-looking man sings a holy song about human fate. She kisses her rosary, wishes for me not to be alone. Mother prays, Nuestra Señora del Sagrado Corazón. Sonnet 44. Like the dusty archive of America's first planetarium, with its small sundials, rare telescopes and pocket globes, or the global seed vault, a giant underground aquarium buried deep on an island between Norway and the North Pole. like the gargantuan Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City, with its Aztec calendar, the stone of the sun, and the tombstone and jades of Pacal. Like the Gold Museum of Bogota City, packed with necklaces, bracelets and trunks, room after room. So, my own museum grows every day in this English diaspora. A collection of objects acquired, who knows, to tell my story. Letters from Argentina, stones, books, photos from a lost camera, and all the things you gave me as presents, a gay Lutz allegory. Sometimes I wander through those corridors, long and intricate, looking at my past, my two countries, a diorama for an immigrant. Sonnet 56. South American butterflies. Eurytides Columbus, Morpho aquilena, Eresia anieta, Stalakis flegia, Catagrama sinusdura, Ageronia velutina, Eurytides dolicam, Colias lesbia, Papilio omotoas, Agria sardanapalus, Papilio menatius, Eresia simois, Papilio androgius, Catoblepia verequintus, Papilio chimeros, Heliconius filis, Lemonias sigia, Batus belus, Leucominia icare, Papilio neae, Livendula anemias, Batus ingenuus, Agroinia occidentalis, Calithea Euristoniae, Messini bomilca, Eusellasia cuprea, Anciluris rubifolium, Heliconius ansia. And I'm going to finish with another crown, and this is the crown of the kings, and it's a sort of conversation between me and Darwin. Thank you so much for being here, it's been lovely. The crown of the kings. I said, that's home there, as the ferry veered and the wind hummed. Looking out from our house's window with my binoculars, I imagined being on that ship crossing the channel, succumbing to the rugged English coast, or suddenly transformed to an astrologer following the southern star in that other dark sea, incandescent. I often use spyglasses to see the roofs of neighbouring houses, the way people live here, what's on their TVs, their fluorescent fish tanks glowing in the dark, clotheslines hanging trousers. Pablo brought me these binoculars many years ago on an outing to a nature reserve in Norfolk, where all I wanted to do was see the local birds, the butterflies, to put a name to these new things, to discover this English realm together. We two young argies. Beyond these lenses, there is another world still awaiting us, a place I often imagine traversing together with a field glass. A place I often imagine traversing together with a field glass, Darwin tells the gaucho, as he is about to cross a land south of Buenos Aires, both galloping. He's on a horse called Grass, Pasto. It's August 1833, and his beagle arrived off the mouth of the Rio Negro, where he disembarked. They are travelling north to Bahia Blanca. He takes his binoculars and inspects the land, then makes some notes in a tiny notebook, scribbling a few words. Everywhere the landscape wears the same aspect. A dry, gravelly soil supports tufts of brown, withered grass and low scattered bushes armed with thorns. Sighs. Shortly after, they see a famous tree surrounded by rocks and coarse sand. The gaucho tells him that the Indians revere it as the altar to Walechu. The tree has no leaves. In their place, a splendid sight. Threads with offerings, cigars, bread, cascabeles suspended. A sight. Threads with offerings, cigars, bread, cascabeles suspended from the Ekeko figurine. It'll bring you good luck and plenty of money, the Bolivian woman tells me. The Koya doll dream is open-ended. It also has little dollar bills, beans and coca leaves. A tiny dummy I find irresistible. She tells me is the Tiahuanacan god of abundance, embodying prosperity in the mythology of the Bolivian altiplano. I am in La Paz, traveling alone, tasting for the first time independence, as I discover Latin America, its forests, cathedrals, ruins and volcanoes. I buy the ekeko at the market, put it in my rucksack, rub his cheeks for my auspicious journey. Decades later, in my house in England, I place the papier-mâché figurine over my studio bookcase, a trick to bring me good luck while reminding me of that faraway land. In its gaping, smiling mouth, there is a hole to put a slim cigarette for his own pleasure, to make the little man into a good amulet. For his pleasure, to make the little man into a good amulet, the English explorer gives him a telescope and orders him to look for an island. The tall sailor brought him good luck and is adamant the story will repeat. The Beagle sailed from Valparaiso and it took days to survey southern Chile to the broken land of the Chonos, a fine archipelago. On November the 10th, 1834, the sailor points to a dot in the Pacific. "Land ahoy!" shouts the seaman on deck as Darwin notes in his diary the arrival to Chiloé, the greenest Eden, a beautiful spot. Days later, the sailor looks through his telescope and sees smoke rising from the volcano of the Sorno, a highland formed like a perfect cone, white with snow, standing out in front of the Cordillera, billowing steam from the summit. South American terns, wrens and kukui herons call to the gods to appease the giant. A condor flies above the mountain. To live in this island is a rare miracle. Everything thrives like a fountain. They live off this island as if money flows like a fountain. That's why so many want to come here, our neighbour in Deal told us. He's seen it on TV. They cross the channel on bogus claims and overstay before bringing all their dependents. It's unreal. He said Great Britain is broken. Nothing is like it used to be. He's retired now and collects all nautical instruments, maps, compasses, astrolabes, telescopes and spheres to chart the seas. He knows we are both migrants from Argentina, but perhaps he forgot. Pablo speaks with a North London accent. I'm obviously not from here. As we walked back home that night, we looked at each other, somehow puzzled, picturing him in that house, his political thoughts, how he showed us his antique collection like a zealous grandmother. There was a full moon and it was making the beach shine bronze. We could clearly see the glowing coast of France, how close it was. We could clearly see the glowing coast of France, how close it was, Darwin writes, as he at last departs from England, illusioned with the many wonders awaiting him in South America, the course his life is taking, what he's about to discover, his theory of evolution. The big ship is leaving and suddenly his youth is left behind. He's a young man of 22, ready to write his pioneering masterpiece. During the trip, he has many nightmares about the chieftain confined to his country. His mother appears, yet he knows she's long deceased. At some point in the long voyage, he begins to feel unease. Sweats most days. Thinks he has already caught an illness and will be unable to start his once-in-a-lifetime trip. The Beagle whispers. He regrets his constant fears, his sudden indecision. He deplores as damnable, imagining eventually returning with his findings to his homeland, crossing the English Channel on a packed boat back to England. Crossing the English Channel on a packed boat back to England, we talked about our summer trip to the continent, how familiar the Mediterranean life seems to us, the way people move their hands or talk loudly like Argentinians. The many links there are, how similar. At first, the sea was calm and blue, and we could see the white froth trailing behind our ship. A few seagulls followed us on our way home, perhaps begging for a piece of bread or chips, waving like a tablecloth. Some passengers were half asleep, children running like crazy gnomes. Then the sea got rougher and the ferry swerved this way and that. We got closer to our seats, still thinking of those Italian towns, the sea where we swam like fish, and then France, the food, the sun, the cats of Menton and Cap Martin, esplanades lined with sylphic palm trees, until we saw the white cliffs of Dover, and you pointed straight at them and said, "That's home out there," as the ferry veered and the wind hummed.